more important than that is this is the most important site. The most, not the second most, not the third most, not the halfway most. The most important site in the building of Black Detroit.
The Skillman Library?
Nope, not the Skillman Library.
Say it again.
This site where we're standing is the most important site in the building of Black Detroit, and I'm gonna tell you why. The Black community in Detroit exists because of what happened at this site that we're standing. There would be no Black community in Detroit. There'd be Black people living here, but it wouldn't be a community. This made it a community. So, I already told you earlier that Detroit has a different kind of history. We had people escaping here to get away from slavery, and had people escaping from here to get away from slavery. So, in 1827, to cut down on the one side of that equation, the people trying to come here to get away from slavery, the Wayne County passed a law, an ordinance. Wayne County passed an ordinance saying that Negroes and mulattoes, so Black folks, had to pay a $500 bond to live within Wayne County. So of course, Black people escaped from slavery in 1827 wouldn't be able to afford $500 to live here. So if they escaped it, they had to keep it on the down low. They could not let themselves be known, because once they were captured or caught, they would be sent back to wherever they escaped from slavery. This is 1827. So in 1831, love story occurred in Kentucky. Young man, 19-year-old named Thornton, was in love with this fine sister, at least by all accounts. We don't have pictures, no such thing as cameras in 1831, but by all oral reports, she was foreign. And so he was in love with her. She was 27. He's 19, she's 27. They both enslaved on 2 different tobacco plantations in Kentucky. He's a driver for the person that's enslaving him. So he drives the wagon and the horses and takes the so-called slave owner to different places in Kentucky to conduct business. All right, and he also does business stuff on his own. You know, he's told, okay, I need you to go and meet with, so he conducts business on behalf of the person who's enslaving him. I don't like using the word slave master, because when this person that was enslaving him, he does conduct business on his own, and he finds out through conducting business that the woman he's in love with is on another plantation. Ruthie, her name is Ruthie, his name is Thornton. The person he's in love with is about to be sold down the river to New Orleans as a fancy woman. So basically a sexual slave. So once he finds that out, he can't let this happen. He's in love with her. So he goes to her and says, we gotta go. And they do, they leave, they dip. He's running the wagon. He gets her on the wagon, they go to Cincinnati. Ohio, they cross the Ohio River. Ohio is a free state. So he grabs to Cincinnati, they get married. His name was Thornton Blackburn. She becomes Ruthie Blackburn. And they're married in Cincinnati. But they realize that Cincinnati is too close to Kentucky. Slave catchers could catch them too easily. So after a few months of living there, they come to Detroit. Now, Detroit has this ordinance that you gotta pay $500 to live here if you Black or Negro or mulatto, so Black people. That's to try to keep Black people from escaping from slavery and coming and living in Detroit. So when they come to Detroit, they gotta keep themselves on the down. They can't, in fact, most Black people are really, they not making no noise, they not organizing, they're not really trying to create too many institutions that would draw attention to themselves, because if they did that, that would force all these Black people, many of whom escaped from slavery, to be sent back. So he's a Fugitive Slave Act. This is before the Fugitive Slave Act. This is Michigan passing their own law to try to keep people from coming here.